get this, get fucking this, what I just saw, what I just remembered. So you know in the final scene of Leave the World Behind, how she goes down into the basement, then she goes into the room and sees the library of TV shows and movies. So what you're going to realize when Babylon finishes is that every single show and every single movie that they made, that Babylon made, is connected. That if you put them in the correct order, there is a running, like how we saw how Monica and Chandler had moved into the house across the road from the Macaulay Culkin Home Alone house. I believe every single show is connected. If you had them, if you sequenced them in the right order, you would find continuity of going from one house and one story to the other. Bum, 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 bum.
There's something that changed in the field of AI in 2017 that everyone needs to know, because I was not freaked out about AI at all until this big change in 2017.
And it was a thing called transformers. 2017, OpenAI releases a paper where they train this AI to predict the next character of an Amazon review. And then they're looking inside the brain of this AI. They discover that there's one neuron that does best in the world sentiment analysis, understanding whether the human is feeling like good or bad about the product. So you're like, why is it learning how to model how other people think? And then it all of a sudden makes sense. If you are predicting the next word for the entirety of the internet, well, it's going to read every novel. And for novels to work, the characters have to be able to understand how all the other characters are working and what they're thinking. It has to understand how French people think and how they think differently than German people. It's read lots and lots of chess games, and now it's learned how to model chess and play chess. It's read all the textbooks on chemistry, so it's learned how to predict the next characters of text in a chemistry book, which means it has to learn chemistry. So you feed in all of the data of the internet and ends up having to learn a model of the world in some way.
And what's scary about it is that we didn't know that it had that capability until years after it had already been deployed to everyone.
And in fact, there is no way to know what abilities it has.
It's really crazy. Like, we'll have to, one way or another, we'll have to incorporate the use of AI in our future, lives. Like, at the speed this AI is coming up, I don't think we'll be able to just, ignore it or just be aloof and not, be conversant with what AI is and how it works. I think we will have to, one way or another, either have chips embedded in our bodies, which I don't like the idea of, or just work simultaneously with AI.
1983, the CIA wrote an obscure report on the Gateway experience, claiming that an altered state of human consciousness could transcend space and time. This report was declassified in 2003, containing 29 pages with the title, Analysis and Assessment of the Gateway Process. Before watching this video, viewer discretion is advised. What you do with this information is up to you. The CIA was essentially exploring the idea of inducing an out-of-body experience that might allow them to tap into a higher realm beyond reality. The report delves deep and explains that the universe consists of a complex system of interacting energy fields, in which states are just variations in energy. Human consciousness is no different. It's just a vibrational pattern of energy. In these documents, they highlight that when hemisync, the process by which synchronizes the two hemispheres of the brain, is achieved, it can induce an altered state of consciousness, in which a person's consciousness is released from the physical world and turned into a pure field of energy. The hemisync audio uses layered binaural beats, pink noise, and monaural beats to produce specific brainwave frequencies associated with the desired state of consciousness. I will now play a sound from one of their Focus 15 tapes. Before listening to this, make sure you are in a safe and comfortable place. Here's the sound.
Here's the thing that's weird. There was a Tibetan library in 1901 where there was a traveling anthropologist expert in the region of Tibet, and he met with this Buddhist monk who had told him that he had discovered a secret library known as the Cave of 1,000 Buddhas. In that library, up in this cave up in the mountains, in that library, he found these manuscripts from all over the world, from different like Hindu texts and all these things. But one of them had a map, had an ancient map in it, and the map depicted Atlantis as a region that existed from west of the Pillars of Hercules as a region all the way to the Yucatan. It really was.
What that mean?
That means that those ruins off of Cuba are part of Atlantis. That's why we see similar architecture in Peru than we do in Egypt than we do in our other parts of the world. Every single ancient structure in the ancient world, cities or wherever, they align themselves to true north, okay, magnetic north. All of them did. They were obsessed with cardinal points and understanding all of that. It had to do with energy. Every single one of them, every single one, anywhere in the world, is off by magnetic north by 23.5 degrees. Every single one of them.
Perfectly.
If you look today at the axis of the Earth and what creates the seasons, there's a 23.5 degree shift on the Earth, which is what creates the precession of the equinox. It means that when those structures were created, we did not have an axial tilt that we have today.
You can open up any English Bible to this day and go to Genesis 1:26, and it'll read, "And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness." There is plurality there. If you were to ask any theologian or whatever and be like, why is there plurality there? They would give you some cute answer like it's God talking to himself or God talking to Jesus or whatever. But that's not the truth. The reason there's plurality there is because the word that was used in the Hebrew text, the original, was not God. The word that was used was Elohim, and Elohim is a plural word meaning the powerful ones. So if you go back and read Genesis 1:26 with that in mind, now you're reading the powerful ones said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. The powerful ones are the Anunnaki. The people who wrote the Bible, they were from the Middle East. You know, they lived in that area. They lived closer in time to the Babylonians, to ancient Sumeria and all that. So the Sumerians were their ancestors. They knew those tales by heart. You know, for example, the Sumerian Enuma Elish was reenacted every year.
Yo, forget the NFL and all other distractions. This is the conversation we need to be having right now. This is for entertainment purposes only.
I really didn't consider that until you just said that. But my thought about this idea of the military turning on the citizens was always, but the military is citizens.
Exactly.
And many of them are deeply patriotic and unlikely to do something like that. But if they did swap out immigrants,
Bingo.
and they did do that, holy shit,
This is
then
exactly.
you have a real coup.
This is what spooks me, is that in thinking about the various scenarios 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, I would have said, I fear that somebody's going to issue immoral orders to the military, but I'm convinced that the military will divide over them. That there are those who will carry out immoral orders and there are others who won't.
And at the same time, there's a senator, I think, from Massachusetts that introduced a bill to ban what they call paramilitary training, which is just training with firearms, like to get better at them.
Right.
So the idea is you have a right to keep and bear arms, but you can't be good at them because you can't practice.
So if you imagine, in my naive state a few years ago, the idea was, well, you have a very well-armed populace. You have a military that's likely to be divided about immoral orders. I don't like the sound of that, but I don't think that it's a slam dunk that the tyrants win, because the part of the military that's not going to follow immoral orders and the citizenry that will fight to defend the republic, that's a pretty powerful force. But then you have vaccine mandates, which force out most of the people who are independent-minded from the military, and then you have the idea that migrants might be granted citizenship in exchange for military service.
I think that's a very, very scary, scenario that these guys are imagining. If you are watching this and you're American, I would just tell you, like, stay armed, prepare, just be prepared. Because as you can see in that country, there are so many things going on that are not normal. Like just illegal immigrants, even all over the Western, countries. Illegal immigrants just entering in, funded by the government. That's not usual. You see illegal, not people who are not US citizens being appointed as, election committee overseers, something like that. I mean, there's a subversion kind of going on in the US, and it could get really ugly. I don't know if you've seen now also the UN is moving their headquarters to Nairobi, Kenya. So just something to, be prepared for.
America, take a good look at your beloved candidates. They're nothing but
special effects people, makeup people. We need to hide the true identity of our officers. They said, what you are calling an operation, we call a performance. Working on that performance, we have to define the stage, who your audience is, who are you playing to, who are you trying to fool. Idea of stunt double masks. They're quick on, they're quick off. They dramatically change your appearance and found them to be valuable to our operations. So we went back to our disguise labs out at Langley, and we invented a whole new genre of masks that are so realistic. They're good enough that you can brief the President of the United States in the Oval Office wearing a mask, and he isn't sure if it's you. Those masks were the beginning of a whole new generation of work that we did at the CIA, on and off like a hat.
There are people behind the scenes that nobody knows about. And it's not just the Mossad, it's not the KGB, FSB, or the NSA, or the MI6. It's not just them. There is a huge group of people in this world who have at their disposal sums of money that you can't even comprehend the amounts. Quadrillions of euros. It could buy the earth 10 times over. Okay? These people are the ones who are pulling the strings, who are deciding what's going to be in the future, how humans are to be controlled. There's too many. There's over 8 billion people. And so this is not acceptable. There's a lot of new age stories going around about how they want to kill off like 90% of the Earth's population. This is not true. They didn't spend thousands of years and cajillions of dollars to create a slave race to destroy them.
To those who still think nothing is happening,
Let me talk to you.
why did Trump make a strange reference to the king? And 2 days later, King Charles is diagnosed with cancer.
Buckingham Palace has just announced that King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer.
Could this be at all related to the Grim Reaper showing up at King Charles's coronation last year? Why did Putin start removing his watch exactly at 17 seconds during his interview with Tucker?
They've only got 17 seconds.
And what could possibly be in the folder that Putin gave to Tucker?
I'm sitting here with the folder, kind of old-fashioned, I haven't even opened it yet, of documents that Putin gave me.
Could it be at all related to whatever was inside that soccer ball? Do you get it yet? In case you don't, maybe this picture of Trump might help. Coincidence or CIC? Hey, if you know, you know.
Let's get this straight right now, right? Why has nobody told me that this thing right here is real? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. And it doesn't stop there. No, here's another one. Look at that. Clearly a woman. Clearly a woman. Don't we know? What? How is that thing? Explain that. It's not a natural form. And then here's another one. Just a guy, just a dude, sat there. Little penguin for you. Then a little bird kissing another bigger bird. Some sort of goat. Not quite sure. Defo a snake. Defo a snake. There's two snakes. Two snakes on top of each other. Then I've no idea what that is, but if they're not teeth, I don't know what are. There's defo a little dinosaur. And then a hand. What is going on, people? I mean, check this out, right? Just look at this for a second, and you tell me what this could be. I mean, I'm not sure about that one. Looks sus. It's a bit sus too. That's defo a person. That I'm not even bothered. When did this become a thing?
Giants. These videos, the elite have hidden a lot of history from us. They have hidden a lot of, there's a lot of things that we are not taught in schools that we can't even read about in books right now, And for one, I believe these issues to be true.
Were petrified after the Great Flood. There are several mountains and islands that seem to look too humanoid to be random formations. There is even a movie called Moana, where there was an island that was a sleeping giant woman. We all know of the story about the Nephilim giants in the Great Flood. People say, if there are giants, why haven't giant bones been recovered? Well, they have, but not mere bones, but entire petrified Nephilim bodies. When these giants were wiped out, they became petrified and are seen all over the world, yet mistaken for mountains and islands. The giants were indeed that huge. The Book of Enoch describes giants as being 450 feet tall. Just so you can put the size of these behemoths into perspective, here is a photo of a man next to a 500-foot statue called the Statue of Unity in India. This statue is around the same size as the actual Nephilim giants, and a full adult male isn't even taller than its toe. These giants were so tall that they could easily be mistaken as a mountain once petrified and vegetation grows around and over them.
Talk about the art scene bringing in pedophilia.
Who are some of the mainstream stars like Sam Smith, Doja Cat, Lil Nas X, Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, these kind of people? You'll notice every once in a while they represent themselves with demonic projections that are off-wallish, where they actually wear satanic uniforms and in front of Super Bowl performances or
The Weeknd on Starboy where he's got the upside down cross.
I want your audience to know that these come from the art world. So a lot of people don't know, but their celebrities are at the top of the fine arts sphere. Most particular is there's a woman by the name of Marina Abramovich. She's a literal Satanist witch, friends with Hillary Clinton, Jay-Z, has dinner parties with Rothschilds.
The spirit cookings.
She does a lot of spirit cookings.
Yeah.
She's at the top of the pyramid.
She's about to be the ambassador in Ukraine.
They want a satanic witch to be one of the dominant influencers for their education program.
That's not conspiracy.
She's publicly declared that one of her goals is to destroy Christendom, to destroy Western social cohesion. She's made that a clear stance.
Anything, and you can just identify however you want.
What are your pronouns?
He, they.
He, they. And they means they. So could you give me like a little bit of a description of because I don't understand what that means.
There's he, she, and there's they. I'm they.
And so you're them?
Yep.
And so are you multiple people?
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Could you explain that to me?
No. Too much work. But I am a legion. I am legion. I am many. I am the one who is many. All right, y'all. Happy Friday.
He's the...
You guys hear about those fires in Chile?
Yeah.
Dude, it happened in Vina del Mar, eerily similar to what happened in Maui. So you know how they were talking about Lahaina becoming the first city in Hawaii to be a smart city? Vina del Mar was the headquarters of smart city business for Chile. No way. These fires, same scenario. High winds, no warning, a lot of people died. And I saw a video today, this dude going through the wreckage, a little outskirt of Vina del Mar, and there was a blue house, completely unburned.
No way.
And I don't know if you've heard about the conspiracy of the direct energy weapon, but lasers cannot burn the color blue. So in Hawaii, everything was just burnt to a crisp. Yet there was just blue umbrellas, completely unburned.
Unfazed. I have family who was walking through the area. They literally said their warehouses, all the green ones are scorched, all the blue ones are still standing and fine.
That's crazy. But a weird connection with the fires in Maui. That day there was a satellite right above Maui. Guess who owned that satellite? CERN.
Really?
A couple years ago, CERN discovered they called the fifth force of nature cosmic energy.
Quick and short little video just so y'all can see that when they do these Super Bowls and they wear red, just know that it means a sacrifice is being played out behind the scenes. This year it was Alicia Keys wearing the red, huge red, massive red. Last year it was Rihanna. Red, 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 sacrifice, sacrifice. Even at the Grammys, Sam Smith, even with the devil horns, red, 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 red. These ceremonies are rituals, okay? And then you also have Ice Spice with the triple whammy, the devil horns, the upside down cross, and the Balenciaga shirt. Crazy. So anybody that joins the industry after Ice Spice will be done the same way. They'll be groomed by a celebrity, and then they'll be changing up their whole style, changing up their, it's gonna be a whole bunch of shit going on. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't just like Rihanna was wearing red. Nah, she even threw up the rock symbol, the Jay-Z symbol. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they do. This is how they subliminally show that a sacrifice is being made behind the scenes while everybody is distracted innocently by a football game. It's a spiritual warfare.
I think no matter how hard we try, no matter how hard, we show these videos, some people won't just believe them. Some people won't just wake up. You're too much into celebrity worship, following trends and all this and that. I'm just making these videos to, enlighten people and show you like what you've been told as to be true or the norm isn't really so. So that's the video, guys. Thank you for watching up to the very end. Click the subscribe button, click the like button if you enjoyed the video.